I am sorry. I must have hit something. I hit a cancel, so I didn't want anything to happen. So my apologies. Um. Anyway, we're talking about like gold. So people they don't understand it. So Warren Buffett sits there with his billions in treasuries, doesn't understand what inflation is. Sorry about that, real MRK. No, I don't own a brick. I own coins. I buy the coins of gold and silver. I don't buy the bricks. I'd like to buy a brick, but I don't know how much they are. I don't know how heavy they are. That's what the central banks buy. They don't buy the coins. They buy the bricks. If you watch Money Heist, they got 90 tons of gold from the Bank of Spain. It's all bricks, and it's really not that much. 90 tons. Not when Russia's got 32,000. They should have went to Russia and stole. Then we really would have saw something. Anyway, it's my apologies on hitting the wrong button. This YouTube, like, if you want to pause it, I don't know how to do it. If you want to, like, I hit a wrong button and I said cancel, and instead of doing it, it canceled. So, but people want to make money, but they don't know how. So they go to advice from the wrong people. So if you went to Rickards or Rick Rude for advice, they don't understand inflation. Rick Rude would put you in an ETF, which would mean it's absolutely worthless because it's not real physical gold. You want real physical gold, you put in your safe. That's it. Nothing else. No bonds, no stocks, no ETFs, no IRAs. You want the real McCoy. You want to hold that gold and put it away because they can't fuck with you. It won't go to zero. Never has, never will, because there's always demand for it. So what do I say? Tesla, there's no demand for electric cars. That's why they keep lowering prices. They can lower them to 5,000. Nobody wants it. So that's kind of what happens with gold. There's always demand. There's always a price, and it's all the banks are buying it. So not a worry. So you've got to understand that the dollar is worthless. That's the first thing. And so people, I got $20,000. I want to turn it into 30. What they don't get is they're in dollars. So your first thing is to get out of dollars. That's why you buy gold and silver. Maybe a Mantle card or a Brady card, but really gold and silver first. And then to differentiate, to diversify, I buy the Austrian gold, the US gold, and the Canadian gold. That's how I diversify my portfolio. But basically, they got 20,000 of this. They want to turn it into 25, but they don't understand how to do that. It's like I said, the Attack on Wall Street guy has 60,000. I want it safe. I don't want risk. But who are you going to? You don't even know who you're going to. Can we barter and trade gold with business amongst other countries? Sure. I'm going to Switzerland with my gold, and I'm going to sell it there. I'm not going to sell it here. But like what you can do when gold really goes through the roof, 50, 60,000 an ounce, you can go to Europe. Somebody will have a house and they need money, and you're going to buy the house with 1 or 2 ounces of gold. So I guess that's barter, where it is money, but the difference is people will realize it's money and they'll go, oh, yeah, you want to give me gold for my house? Absolutely. I need to sell it. I need money to live on. So they would take the gold. 100% of the time. They won't take a Bitcoin because you need an account. Then what do you do with it? And then you got to get dollars. I don't want that. So that's the difference. 7-man out. Not to get off topic, but I seen today reading Cam Rising probably won't play, but I still like Utah. I'm seeing him probable. I'm not seeing him he won't play. I think if he was out, the line would go back to 4.5. So I still think Rising will play because he's still listed as probable. So I don't know day to day. What's today? Tuesday. We'll get a better flavor tomorrow. And I just keep looking at the line. Yeah, it went up 4.5 to 7. He's playing now 6.5. He's probably questionable, but I think the best play, if it says he's not playing, the best play is under, because then they're both. Florida's a running team. They don't trust Graham Mertz, so they're going to run the ball. And Utah's got a great defense. They're not going to do shit. Utah, on the other hand, is going to run the ball. If he doesn't play, they got good runners and little toss passes. They're not going to be wide open like with Rising. So they're not going to score. So the under is the play if Rising says he's out. Only if he's out. I haven't seen where he's won't play. I've just seen I still see him probable on my injury list. And I even went on to this guy's channel on Utah, and he didn't. This was like 2 hours ago, and he's saying he's still questionable. He's still probably a game time decision. So he's not ruled out, and I don't see that. But if you see the line really drop, then he's probably out. Then bet under. But I still like Utah for all the factors I've read. Again, it's a red out. It's a revenge game. They're at home. Florida gets you in the swamp because it's so hot. It ain't hot here. It's in the mountains. It's like playing Mile High in Denver. The opponents do not like it. Graham Mertz sucks. So even if it's the backup, he knows he's starting or playing, so he's prepared for it. I think he'll be good. I mean, if you're smart enough to get a Cam Rising, you're probably got a pretty good eye for a backup. So I would still think he's playing. But if he's not, then go under heavily. Hi, Luke. Silver looks to be breaking out. So does gold. Gold is up like $25 today. So, again, it's BRICS. BRICS is going to the gold-backed currency. That's all you need to know. And everybody's de-dollarizing, getting the fuck out of the U.S. So good times ahead. The real D, I'll call you. You're saying this Utah revenge game, right? Yeah, the game Thursday. Florida beat them in Florida. And now it's Utah's turn in the mountains. And they don't have a quarterback. Graham Mertz from Wisconsin. With Rising, it's absolutely, they'll kill them. Without them, it's absolutely an under game. I'll appreciate your knowledge on sport. You behind the media nonsense. I don't listen to the media. I'm my own man. I know what to analyze. Once I analyze it, as I'm giving you, revenge game, a red out, good defense. I'm giving you the factors, how to pick the game and how to make money at it. So I'm revenge on Wall Street, but I'm actually explaining the real estate trust to the Army guy. So when he goes to his guy, he said, well, we'll put you in a real estate trust. He doesn't explain it to him. He doesn't explain the risk on a no-risk asset that he gets 8% on. And the guy's confused. He said, it's like me with work. Wait a minute. You said it's there's no risk. Well, that's what I was told, says the stockbroker. That's why I was happy when he killed him. But there was huge risk, and the stockbroker should have known that. So the stockbroker, this is why you don't trust stockbrokers. They're just salesmen. They're trying to make your money on commissions, period. So he said, oh, I bought some too. Bullshit. What they don't tell you is they buy gold, and they don't tell you to buy gold. Again, there's no commission on gold. So they're taking greed, Wall Street, to go to your point. Wall Street is basing it on greed. They're taking the greed that you want to make money, but you don't know how. You don't have a clue. And they're going to they're going to get the biggest commission they can from you. And you don't know it. So yes, it's a rigged game because you're blinded. You have no idea. It's like betting football without understanding what to look for. So what's the most important, I tell you, is what to look for. Defense, coach, quarterback. If Rising's playing Utah, Hartman now with Notre Dame, got the defense, got the quarterback. That's what you're looking at. That's why we bet them against Navy. We have Hartman. If it was last year's quarterback, we wouldn't have touched Notre Dame. With Hartman, we're going to touch him. I am convinced it's Notre Dame, Utah, as long as Rising gets back quickly. Notre Dame, Utah, Georgia, and then Michigan or Ohio State. I don't know if Ohio State can beat them. They can't stop the run. Luke, did you see that GBTC ruling? Apparently something may be coming approved for ETF. It was up like 18% today as Bitcoin was up like 7%. A Bitcoin miner was up 28%. I probably saw it. I don't pay much attention to it because it's not real money. It's not gold. And why does an ETF make Bitcoin go up? I don't know, but I did see something to that effect, but I saw it coming up. I think it's all fantasy. I'm hoping something like this happens to spot silver and the miners. Well, it is happening. That's what PRIX is. Lots of leverage with the miners in gold, silver, Bitcoin. You got to be careful because when the market crashes and you're highly leveraged, you lose a whole lot of money. So you got to be careful with options and derivatives. That's why I prefer, here's my ounce of gold, cost me $2,000. Now it's worth 20. When I was at the store the other day, guy says, we need American Eagles, gold ounces. I said, well, I have plenty. He says, do you want to sell us some? And I go, not at these prices. Put a zero at the end of the 2,000 and make it 20,000 and I can sell you one or two. But at 2,000, I'd be an idiot to sell you my gold. I don't need it, and it's worth a lot more than 2,000. So there, I know what it is, and there he's trying to Madoff me by saying, oh, we'll give you $2,000 for it. Yeah, well, what's that? The real D, do you think some football games are rigged? Sports is modern day Roman games. I don't think it's like the WWE where they know Ric Flair is going to beat, the Macho Man. And they choreograph the show and everything like that. I think it's possibly like you're a 9-point favorite. You can win, but you can't win by 9. You got to win by less than 9. Do I think that happens? Yes, because some of the bad calls by the refs. However, doing teasers, we eliminate all that bullshit. Because they're only, let's say it's a 7-point favorite. They can't win by 7. They can win by 6. We tease it down to 1. That's not in the equation of the fix. The fix is just the spot, 7. So they win by 6. They didn't cover the 7, but we had a -1. We didn't care. So Notre Dame kills Navy. No fix there. USC wins by 28 over San Jose State. Was that fixed? Don't care. We bet the over. They're less apt to fix the over-under because they can't really control that much, especially in college. But let's say USC wins by 28. Was that fixed? Spread was 30. Maybe. But again, we diverted it with the teaser and we diverted it with the over-unders. Well, put it this way. Pretty much everything's fixed. So you've got to understand, but you don't even want to go with banking. and money, like this is fixed, right? You want fixed. This is the most fixed thing there is. Because these idiots are printing it like it's water, and the value of this $1 bill is worth 1 cent, maybe 2 cents. That's it. That's the value of a dollar. If you got $100, it's worth 20 cents. That is price fixing. That is what you're talking about. So if you really want to know, stocks, bonds, the dollar, that's what's fixed, right? So you can ask about football. We know gold's fixed, but we're hoping it breaks because all the competition coming into gold, they all want gold to go up. Because if you got 32,000 tons, you don't want this. I don't want the price low so I can buy more. I want the price to go up so I can be rich already. So China and Russia are just salivating, like, let's get the price up to 20, 30,000 an ounce with all the gold they have. So I understand where you're coming from with the football games being rigged, but I think there's some bad calls, and you got such bad refs. That's probably why. But no more than stock market. It was 100 times more rigged than a football game. So you have to understand the games, right? Like I said, the stockbroker and Attack on Wall Street, all he wanted was his commission. He didn't give a shit about the Army guy. So the Army guy got even and killed him. But the Army guy did not understand what he was getting into. He did not understand it's a very risky real estate trust that he was in. They're based on mortgages of people with bad credit that they would be able to keep paying on the trust. And if they stopped paying and had to default, his 8% real estate trust would collapse because you needed the money coming in to give you the 8%. So if the people stopped paying their mortgage, there's no 8% to give him. That's why it collapsed. But you got to understand that going in, that the mortgages are fucked. That was government. What did they say? Oh, no, we'll guarantee you, Wall Street, that if the loans go bad, we'll guarantee it. And that's what they did. They bailed them out. That's the whole problem. And the reason is because Wall Street owns the government, not the other way around. That's the first fact you have to understand. Who's running the government? Money, Wall Street. That's it. And so you see these bailouts. Well, that's why, because all the banks get bailed out for fucking up. And they all make this huge payday because that's the point of it. But you really have to understand what's going on, and most people have no clue. So most people don't understand the risk they're in. They don't understand the market. They're trying to invest, but they don't know what they're betting on. They don't know what they're investing on. Football, I can help you with because I can explain what do you look for. And it's pretty much, you go into gold and silver because that's safe. You get out of the dollar because they're printing it, right? $10 trillion and this huge debt. This is worthless paper. So you have to get out of this. And I'm telling you to go into gold and silver, not into real estate. Real estate's already gone, and then the interest rates are so high, you can't afford it anyway. So really, you get out of that, you go into gold and silver. Why? Because gold and silver are real. You can't fuck with them. You can't print them. You got a gold coin, nobody can take it away. It can never go to zero, and it's going to go through the roof because it's been held down. And now it's at the point where it's going to explode because they can't keep holding it down. Because here comes Russia and China saying, not anymore. And as Mark McGuire would say, this the ring fence, which is basically you got to buy from COMEX. And they're saying, well, they're going out. Here's COMEX, and then here's the Russians, Chinese, and Indians are going, we're going to go over here. We're not going to play with COMEX. So not only is gold and silver the best and cheapest to get into that are so undervalued, it's crazy, but you can't lose. There's no risk. So like I said, if it was me, if the attack on Wall Street guy came to me with his 60 grand, he'd have bought $60,000 worth of gold. He'd have walked away 2 or 3 years later with $110,000 worth of gold, still not even at its price, just COMEX going up, but not free market price. And he'd have made, with no risk, $50,000. So if you want no risk, you're in gold and silver. And stop worrying about it doesn't pay a dividend. Who gives a fuck? It goes to the moon. It's going to go from 2,000 to 5,000. Do I care? It pays a dividend. Does a Mantle card pay a dividend? Does a Rolex pay a dividend? No. They go up in value. They don't pay dividends. Who cares about a dividend? A stock pays a dividend. So again, they're trying to talk you into stocks. Go into stocks. Is there safety? The whole market's going to crumble. It's all about to go to zero. The stock market, once everybody realizes the dollar's going out, all the foreign investors, Russia, China, the UK, Germany, all these, Japan, they park their money in dollars for safety. And once they realize it ain't safe, they're going to bring it back into their countries. And you pull $35 trillion out of the stock market, the prices go down to nothing. That's what's keeping the stock market up, not because the companies are doing well. And as we know, we're in a recession because interest rates are high, so the cost of money is high. The more things cost, the less you can buy, right? So if milk's $1, you can buy 2 of them, and then you still have money left over. But if milk's now $10, now you can't buy 2 of them, and you can't buy your Oreos and your Chips Ahoy. So you can't. So you've got less money to buy other things, your utilities, your gas for your car payment, your mortgage. Now all of those are sky high now. So that means you only have so much money. We can't print it, and therefore it loses. We can't buy more, and that's what a recession is, a slowdown in the economy because things are so expensive, it has to slow down. So in other words, Canadian Club, if I make this $20 a bottle, you might buy 2 bottles of it, or you can buy a bottle of this and a bottle of vodka, or you can buy this and 3 bottles of Coke. I make this $100. That's about all you're going to buy this for $100, maybe, and you won't have any money left to buy potato chips. So as costs go up because of the inflation, because the money's worth less and less, making it take more money to buy this, that's the inflation, that's the recession. There has to be a recession, but the government, who is so full of shit, hides it. Oh, look, inflation's 3%. What planet are you on that inflation's 3%? It's not 3%. Well, we're looking at prices, and since they can't sell cars and they got to lower their price, oh, a $30,000 Camry went down to $25,000. Oh, so if we take that into pricing, oh, inflation's down. Look, it went down $5,000. No, it's because they couldn't sell the car. That's why you don't use prices to figure out inflation. You can only use interest rates. You could use gold if you allowed gold at free market. That would be the best. So if gold was free market and gold went from 2,000 to 10,000, inflation's up 50%. That's an easy one. Only if gold's at free market. But if gold's not see, they hide it because they don't want you to realize they're a bunch of idiots. So they hide the gold price so you don't realize, you don't connect the dots between gold and the dollar. That's why they're doing it. So you think, you never know what the price of this is. Do you ever see a price of dollars? But you see a price, oh, gold's $19.50. You don't see the dollar at $19.50 or whatever it is. Nobody holds the dollar because it doesn't make you money. It always goes down. Gold goes up. So you're accumulating gold, waiting for this to go. Once the foreign investors pull out of the U.S., then Katie bar the door, it's all over, and you're going to be crying if you're in stocks. So what I'm doing is I'm 2 steps ahead of everybody. So I'm saying this is what's going to happen based on them printing $10 trillion. You're going to have inflation. Your only out's gold and silver. So I already know step A is the printing, step B is the inflation, step C is the gold and silver. We're 2-3 steps ahead. That's how I think. And so I know it's going to happen. It's not a guess. It's not, and it's clear to me what's going to happen. So you buy it and then you just hold on, and we're lucky we can still get it at 2,000 an ounce. Or I got the 10th of an ounces for $200. It was a joke. They should have been 250, but they were 200 because I got Canadian. I'm like, I'll take that all day, because 10 of them gives me $2,000 for an ounce, which is a joke. Luke, Professor, when the squeeze on COMEX LBMA blow when recession finally hits? Recession's already here. No, it's two different animals. COMEX LBMA blows when the competition of Russia, China, we got a gold-backed currency. We're going to price our gold here, and here's COMEX LBMA. Right now, it's a monopoly, so they can set the price. Once you have competition, there goes the monopoly. Monopoly means there's only one. Competition means there's many. So once Russia, China have competition for the LBMA, they won't be able to compete. So if Russia, China says gold's 10,000 an ounce, COMEX can't keep the 2,000. It'll have to blow up, because once it sits there at 2,000, everybody will buy from them and go sell it on Russia for 10, and everybody buys it for 2, sells it for 10. How long is that going to last? About 5 minutes. So that'll blow it up. So anytime there's competition, you blow up the monopoly, that's good. Anytime you can substitute one stake for another to keep the price down, that's competition. That's what America is. Free market, that's what we want. We don't want communism where the market and the government control everything. We don't want that. We want to be involved. Hey, Todd. I haven't had a chance to eat it yet, but it's done. I took it out earlier. I went to the lake to relax from all the bullshit at work, but I think I'm finally calmed down enough. I have my 16 teaser, UTSA, USC over, Texas, and 3 others. Oh, okay. Send me an email. I can review it for you. Yeah, don't forget Utah and Army. Now, Utah, we're waiting if Rising. I believe Rising's playing. I don't think he'd have made that comment, and I don't see the line dropping. But if he doesn't, it's an under. If he plays, it could go over because that. But I love it if he plays, which he should play. We will see. Luke, probably not a good time to buy much more than gold and silver versus baseball cards and real estate. Well, I think at this point, I go right to the coin store. I go right to the gold section. And I just buy gold. I don't even buy silver anymore because I got too many ounces. I got like 600 ounces. And I really wasn't going to buy too much, but I started buying it. Now, my thought of silver is once it hits the 10-to-1 ratio, so once gold's 50,000 and silver's now at 5,000, I'm going to take 10 silver ounces and buy more gold with it. You really want more gold at the end of the day. If I can trade 10 silver ounces for 1 ounce of gold, I want to do that because, like I said, you got a lot of silver to lug around. But if you have 1 ounce of gold, it's worth, like here, 10 ounces of silver. So you can put it in your pocket and fly to Switzerland. Nobody knows you got it. But if you got to carry all the silver and it's really not worth as much, you're just better off with gold. But, and again, it's not a barter item. It's not, I'm going to go to the grocery store with my silver to buy Cheerios. You'll go to the bank, you go to the store, you cash it in, you put the money in your account on your debit card, and you go to the store and you use your debit card. Now, this money will be gone, and they'll come out with some new phony baloney money and say, oh, this is the new dollar because of Putin. He's good for whatever, right? So because of Putin, we got rid of this and we got new money. That's what they'll do. They want to do the CDBCs, and they're no different. They're fiat. If they're not backed by gold, they won't last 2 months anyway. So I know everybody's scared of control, but it won't matter because it's not real money. Nobody's going to want it. You'll still want the BRICS currency and the gold with it. So it'll never. It can only last only if it's gold backed. Can any currency in the world last? That's why the whole world's collapsing. None of the currencies are backed by gold. Not the British pound, not the Swiss franc, Japan, China, Russia, and or the euro are none of them are backed by gold. They're all being printed to zero. That's why you can't get out of the dollar into the euro or into the Swiss franc. Even Egon can't save you, or Alligator. They can't save you, even with the British pound. They're not going to be worth anything either. There's massive inflation in the UK, euro. Germany's going bankrupt. So all these countries are fucked. They're just kind of slowly getting. They're on the Titanic, and they're all going down, and the water's coming in, and you want to admit it or not, the water's coming in. And so even there, again, the only answer for the whole world is gold and silver. But they don't want you to know that, but that's what it is. They're ready to back the ruble with gold. China probably wants to back the yen by gold, or the yuan, and then the BRICS countries are going to back their currency by gold. It's the only way to do it. Because they know if they keep printing, it goes to zero, it's corrupt, and nobody will want it if it's not backed by gold. So it creates the demand that it's safe, and everybody wants safe. The real D, history definitely repeats itself. We headed to the Great Reset once again. Well, I don't know about a Great Reset. We're basically... call it the Great Depression times 20. The depression that's going to happen is just, it'll be ugly. So you want to be in gold and silver. If you're in gold and silver, it won't bother you. I'll buy your house. I got an ounce of gold. You own a nice house. But if you're in this, when the shit hits the fan, you're fucked. It's worth nothing. It's worth nothing now, but nobody knows it. So once it's worth nothing and people start realizing it, that's when the stock market crashes. The stock market's going to crash. You could either keep your money in Amazon and Apple or get the fuck out. So if you keep it in and it goes to zero, don't act all surprised. Oh my God, I can't believe this happened. That's my favorite part of Madoff. The people don't ask, don't tell. Invest $100,000 and they keep getting these checks every month from Madoff, who never loses. Yeah, that can happen. And they get 10 grand here and 20 grand there. And they don't question it. And they don't really, you don't realize that it's a Ponzi scheme because you keep getting money out. And he never loses? Really? What reality do you live in? So then when it finally blows up because of the housing crisis in 2008 and everybody needs money, they all ask for the money out. He doesn't have it because he needs new money in and nobody has money because they all got fucked. Then they all start crying. Oh my God, it was a Ponzi scheme. Really? Oh, he took all my money. Really? You're that stupid that you had $1 million in Madoff and you didn't question that you got paid every month, but you're too stupid to pull it like at the crap table? It's like saying, oh, I didn't know the 7 was going to hit at the crap table. I didn't know Madoff was a Ponzi scheme. So it's like Madoff is like playing craps and 6 and 8 and 9 and 10 hit every time. 6, 8, 9, 10, 4, no 7. 7 never hits. The guy throws 20,000 rolls of the dice and 7 never hits. That's what Madoff was. And if you're that stupid to think it's real, and I won't ask, I won't tell. Like some ladies on the Netflix says, Well, I asked my dad, how does he do it? And he says, just don't ask, just take the money. But there has to be a point. You should have saw the 2006 coming because of all these mortgages going bad and their interest rates went up and all these people. So there's always signs if you know how to read. And then you could have said, oh, fuck, Madoff's not going to get money in. He won't be able to pay me out. I got to pull my Madoff money now. Now is the time to pull it. Like now there's BRICS and they're going to a gold-backed currency. Now's the time gold's going to go up. That's the trigger. You're looking for the triggers of everything. We're looking for Cam Rising playing to bet Utah. And if he doesn't, we bet the under. We're looking at Hartman at Notre Dame. Hartman's playing. They beat Navy by 50 points. There's always a trigger. There's an action reaction. That's the point. That's what you're looking for. And that's what you need to understand. That's what I try to teach you. Why are we in gold and silver? Because we're watching $10 trillion being print. We're watching a $35 trillion debt. Okay, I don't know what else you need to see. Even if you don't understand it, you can't say, $35 trillion in debt can't be good for anybody, right? Imagine if that was your credit card bill. How the fuck are you going to pay it off? So you've got to see warning signs and then connect the dots and go 3 steps ahead, $35 trillion debt leads to heavy inflation, leads to the dollar collapsing, leads to the gold price going to the moon. So we see all that and we go, okay, I'm in the gold price because I can't go in other currencies because they're all going to collapse because they're all doing the same thing because George Soros is running it. So this is what we've put. That's why you connect the dots. So it's like the Joker's running the world, basically, and we're all like, what the fuck? So that's really what you have to understand. So when we talk football, I'm saying you look at the defense and the quarterback. How do you get the defense? You look at the scores. What happened? Hawaii puts up 28 on Vanderbilt. Terrible defense, but they got a pretty good offense now. So I'm going to bet Hawaii is an over. Look at our UMass New Mexico State game. All of a sudden, UMass has an offense. They don't have a defense, although it wasn't too bad, but the guy throws 3 interceptions for New Mexico State. So now they play Auburn. And now you say, well, we know UMass probably won't stop Auburn too well, but they're going to be able to score on them. Now, they put up 40 on Mexico State. You had a pick 6, you had a fumble at the 10, and you had that interception. So did they really score 40? Well, let's say they get 20 on Auburn. Well, let's look at the Auburn line. And if you look at it, you go, it's only 52. Yeah. The over-under is 52 on the Auburn game, and you got UMass pulling in 20, and Auburn should light them up for a good 40. So you should get a game that we had no idea and we couldn't look at. We now get more. UMass has somewhat of an offense, and Auburn should be able to run up and down the field on them because if New Mexico State puts up 30 on them, Auburn should be able to put up 50 on them. So all of a sudden it starts becoming more clear. Hawaii's an over team. New Mexico State's an over team. No defense, pretty good offense, good quarterback. That was too many interceptions. Sounds like half the NFL. That's what we look at in the NFL. We don't like Fields. We don't like Trey Lance. We don't like Lamar. We're not big fans of Hurts because they don't know how to throw the ball. And the defenses are faster. And when you got half the Georgia defense on Philadelphia, they don't have to play Hurts, but if they play Fields or they play Lamar, they're faster than he is. He ain't going to be able to do anything in that game because they'll be on him so quickly, he'll have 10 sacks. So that's what you look for. There's always the trigger to get to the answer. So again, attack on Wall Street, buy gold, you have no risk. So if you wanted to be in a no-risk thing, you don't even go to the stockbroker. You read up on gold, but nobody reads up on gold because nobody gets it. Oh, gold has no value. It doesn't move. Do you realize it's price fixed? Probably not. Even price fixed, it still went from 35 to it's 1950. Even price fixed, it's 1950. Take the price fixing off, and what do you got? 30, 40,000. So there's always that trigger to get to the ant. There's always A happens, then B happens, then C happens. So you got to understand that. So Madoff always getting money, that doesn't make sense. Come on, you can't be that stupid that you think that he's going to pick winners every fucking month in the stock market. Like I said, that's like me picking 100% in football. It can't happen. You cannot pick a winner every game. He cannot pick winners every day in stock, even when the market's going down. Oh, he got out. You can't miss the 7 every time in craps. Blackjack, you're going to bust, and the key to blackjack is if you bust first. So if you both bust, but you bust first, you lose. Well, why do I lose if he busts also? Because it's not like everything else, right? So that's what you look at. You look at action, reaction. Poker, I tell you about that. I got to see how Eric did playing poker. If you saw guys staring at the TV and he folded, I hope. Let's see. Get the fuck out and buy gold. Well, that's all you can do. And like I'm saying, there's zero risk. And there's a huge reward. You're going to get 1,000, 5,000% return on investment with zero risk. Where else can you do that? You want to be an Apple and Microsoft and Amazon and Tesla, be my guest, but they're not going anywhere but down. And when they go, they're going to go boom. Look at Disney. Look at, all these. They're just hammering. I bet that's what's happening to Harley. They're in the same situation, trying to sell a motorcycle at 7-8%. That's probably why they're ending the contract for me, because they're probably losing their ass. But I haven't really seen their books because I don't really care. Physical could go no bid. That'll be the day. Physical can go no bid. What are you saying, Luke? Physical could go no bid. That'll be the day. Can go no. You're starting to type like Bobby. Explain that one. Can go no. What you're saying. The real D. How long did it take you to understand this knowledge and did you gain this wisdom from business college? Well, I'm an INFJ, so I think I'm a critical thinker to start with. I did learn a lot of it in my master's program, not in my undergrad. In my undergrad, I had no fucking idea. They taught Keynesian. But when I got into my master's program, I didn't know what Keynesian and Austrian were. He explained it. It was Austrian economics, and I learned a great deal, mostly about markets. Mostly, you can watch Adam Smith. I showed a little video of him. Say's law is supply creates demand, meaning you should sell what people want to buy. So you got to listen to the market. If the market wants Canadian Club 12, that's what you should sell because people will buy it. You also want to be careful selling the ribs at the barbecue restaurant. You can sell them for 27, but if you go to 45, you're not going to sell them. Then you get too pricey. You got to listen to the market. So you got to listen to the market. Tesla wants to sell electric vehicles, but the market, if there is one, is like, I'll give you $1,000. I don't want the headache of an electric vehicle. He's lowering his price to nothing. There's nobody there because nobody wants them because they're the biggest pain in the ass in the world. Luke, physical gold from dealers could go no bid. Meaning no bid, no price until further notice. Physical gold from dealers could go. I don't think so. I think they sell them for what they like. When I go to my guy, he looks at spot's 1950. He sells it for 2,000. So he's playing the spot game. Well, they'll still be spot. It might be 20,000. but there'll always be spot, and then it'll turn into Russian spot. But the spot is the actual gold price. That won't go away. Gold, silver could run, and nobody knows what to sell it for. No, because there will be a price on the Russian market. There'll always be spot. It's like this. There's always, you go to the grocery store, there's always a price on this. Now it's $100. Now it's $200. So you pay the price. Gold and silver will always have the price. It's just the price might go to 20,000. And now he's going to sell it to you for 20,000. Which, how many people have 20,000 for an ounce of gold? That's why I'm buying it now. But no, I think that you'll always have a spot price. It might not be COMEX, it'll be Russian. You'll always know the value of gold and silver from the markets. And then that's what you buy and sell it for. So that won't go away. It just won't be COMEX anymore. No, because it'll just, so when you go for gold price now, let's say you see 10,000. Well, that's what I'm selling it for. Right? So if I went to the store and the guy says I need an eagle, and now I see price of gold 10,000, okay, it's yours for 10,000. That's what we're doing. So I don't know. I'm confused that you don't. There'll always be a price for gold because there's always going to be there's always going to be a market. There's always a market of buyers and sellers, just like stock, just like the Canadian Club, just like a phone. There's always a market. That's what the market is. It determines price. So if it's a free market, which we need in gold and silver, then if the demand goes up, the price goes up. So if everybody wants gold and I can sell it for 10 grand, and then I got 20 people saying, I'll give you 11, I'll give you 12. That's the new price, the 12. The market's always what the buyer will buy it for to match the seller. So as we saw the Montana card, the rookie's 100,000. Well, it's only in the market. So as long as there's a buyer at 100,000, he can sell it for 100,000. But if there's no buyer, he can't sell it. He can list it for 100 grand, but he can't sell it because there's nobody to buy it. So gold will go up to 20,000, and will it be bought? If it isn't, it'll drop. If it is, it might keep going. Put it this way, there's a lot more demand than there is supply of gold. So supply of gold's here, demand of gold's here. What do you think the price is? So as people want it and it runs out, well, there isn't any more, the price goes up and up and up to match demand, right? That's where you're getting the 100,000 for the Montana card. How did it get there? Because I'm selling it and there's demand, and I'm selling it and there's demand, and I put an auction and it went all the way up to 100,000. Okay, that's the market. Somebody's willing to pay 100,000 in an auction for the Montana card. That's the value. Now, it's not always 100 grand. There could be other auctions. It gets 95, it gets 105. So it does vary a little, but that's what the market does. It determines price. The buyers, if there's more buyers than supply, the price goes up. And that's what gold is. There's much more buyers than the supply of gold, and that'll force the price up. Luke, when it is going down, Professor, buying a house with an ounce or 3, seriously? Oh, absolutely. I accumulated because I think it's going to run with the collapse. It could switch soon fast. No, it's not going to switch. So you got to understand, once people look at the Titanic, once people realize that there was actually water in the boat, what do? They all panicked to get into the lifeboats. And then they couldn't, there was no more lifeboats. But you got that frenzy of, I got to get to the lifeboat, I got to get to the lifeboat. And as people start realizing the dollar's gone, there's so much demand that they got to get out of the dollar. This frenzy is going to go into gold because they know, shit, it's the only safe. They lied to us. It really has a value. So, I'm not worried it could switch fast too. No, not going to switch because the amount of people wanting it will just keep buying it. And now it should settle. So let's say it goes up to 50, demand pushes it up to 50,000. Well, now it might go, oh no, I can't afford it. It might go down to 48, let's say. But it's not going from 2 to 50 back to 2. There's too much demand and there's too big of a world, and the whole fucking world's in these dollars that they got to get out of. And BRICS is sitting there going, we want to have a dollar backed by gold. So we want the value high. So no, I don't see it going from 2 to 50 back to 2. 2 to 50 goes to 75 or 100. As far as buying a house, when the housing market collapses because you can't sell your house. So let's say you're in the UK and you own property here for safekeeping. You want it in America. You want American dollars. Then you realize the American dollars are worthless. What's your house worth? Right? Your house is now worth zero because you can't price it in dollars. It doesn't exist. So I walk up with 2 ounces of gold and everybody goes, gold 50,000 an ounce or whatever gold is. At some point, gold won't not be priced in dollars. So you're going to say, yeah, I can maybe 3 ounces of gold will buy my house for me because it's real money. So you're the seller and you need money to feed your family and everything else. You're in this large house that you can't afford because you don't have any more money. Here I come with some gold and you're like, oh my God, yes, I know this is going to be worth something. So they will take the gold. That's the point of buying the house with gold, because the guy selling the house is only selling because he has to and he needs money. But this is useless. This is worthless now. So I can't even give him this. But if I give him gold, he gets that. So he'll be like, yeah, okay, 2 ounces, 3 ounces of gold. Yeah, because gold will not be 2,000 an ounce. Gold will be 50, 60,000, and then it won't be priced in dollars because the dollar goes away. Now gold's really got a huge value. So now gold's valued in gold, not dollars. And now gold will buy, 2 ounces will buy a $400,000 house because it's not 400,000 anymore. It's not anything because there is no more dollars to price it. You fuck the pricing mechanism once you get rid of the dollar. So now everything's in gold and silver. So now how much gold does it take to buy a house? Not a lot, especially depending if the guy needs it. So Warren Buffett sits there and goes, well, I got $2 billion. I'll buy the house with the dollars. And what he doesn't understand is, no, you won't. Because the $2 billion you're holding is worth zero. I can't wait for that one. So he thinks he's saving his dollars to do it, and he's not smart enough to buy gold. That's why I say this guy's not very intelligent. So if I had $2 billion or whatever he's got, it's in gold, not in dollars, because you're not going to buy shit because it's not going to have a value. It's already worth 2 cents. So you got $2 billion of 2 cents. And when it goes to zero, Warren Buffett is going to be sitting there with 2 billion nothings. We're going to have gold that'll be worth more than his 2 billion. That's what happens. Luke, I assume the U.S. will be forced to back the currency with gold when it changes globally. Well, that would be a good assumption, except we don't have any gold. It's all in China and Russia. We don't have gold here. We do not have 8,000 tons. We don't have. Our central bank is the only central bank in the world not buying gold. So where are we going to get this gold to back the currency that all the Keynesians don't want to use? They don't want to back the currency with gold. If they did, they'd do it now before the currency is worthless. So they don't have any gold to back it with. So that's the problem. Maybe a new U.S. Treasury note back to the Constitution. Well, that we never should have got off the gold standard. Because they're greedy and corrupt is why we got off the gold standard, so they can print and print and print. And that's they cause the inflation, they cause the hunger, they cause the corruption. According to the Constitution, we should be on only gold and silver should be money, is what it says in the Constitution. Not this paper shit. They said never have a central bank, which we do. So nobody listens to the Constitution. That's our big problem. Hey, Eric, how did it go in Vegas? Did you win any money at poker? How was the games? I gave you Verlander, that one. I was excited for you. Did you like 17-4? I loved it. Verlander comes home and shuts them out. But Luke, what should happen is we should never get off the gold standard. Then you never have the problems. You'd be the richest country, and that's why all the premier countries had the gold. France, Spain, Amsterdam, England, U.S., and now we're done because we got off of gold. If you think of the Roman Empire, what did they do? They took the gold out of their money, and they made it copper and tin and brass, whatever the fuck they did. But there was initially they have gold and silver coins, and they were the kings. And they got rid of the gold and silver, and look what happened to them. So we're running a very similar race. We got off of the gold and silver, and as it always happens, once you do that, you're fucked because the paper has no value. This has no value. Gold always has a value. That's the whole point of the lesson, right? Gold always has a value. This has zero. So if you can trade 2,000 of these for an ounce of gold, did you spend any money? No, you actually made money because this is probably this will be worth like $50 soon, which you got 2,000 to buy the ounce, but where's the ounce of gold going? It's going to 10,000. So the $2,000 goes to 50, but the 1 ounce of gold that you bought goes up to 10. So one goes to zero, one goes to 10,000. I mean, what else is there? I mean, you want to buy stock? You think buying Microsoft is going to go to 10,000 with no risk? Really? In the middle of a big depression? Okay. See, and then they write in the news and seeing the communist news network, it's, there's no recession, we're going to have a soft landing, and the Fed with the interest rates, it's all bullshit. It's all made off. You're being made off by the news, and the quicker you understand it, that's why I can't stand half these, Rudes and Rickards and half these guys. They're fucking idiots. But I can read it because I know what they're saying is bullshit. Peter Schiff, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's an economist. He's no economist. They can say some words, but they don't know what the meaning is. I can say Say's law, but I can explain Say's law. Supply creates demand. I know what it is. If they say Say's law, they just heard it. They don't know what it is. They'll just say, Say's law. Look at me. I'm an economist. I said Say's law. Well, if you don't know what it means, you're not an economist. Because I am, and I know what the hell is going on, I can sit there and just read right between the lines going, these guys are fucking idiots. They're just trying to sell you, between Schiff and that Andy guy, they're just trying to sell you gold. Andy Sheckman, the demand's this and the demand's that. And it's like, it doesn't matter until we get rid of COMEX. The price ain't never going up. What do we need to get rid of COMEX? Competition. We got that in BRICS. BRICS competition gets rid of COMEX. Price goes up. Who gives a fuck about the demand for silver and gold if you don't get rid of COMEX? That's been the problem because they'll print 1 million ounces of paper and dilute it and say, look, gold's going down. Why is gold going down? And then they have all these big news things and all these economists come out and say, well, gold's going down because the dollar's going up and the interest rates are this and the yen does that, the dollar does this. It's all bullshit. It's going down because COMEX is making it go down because they're printing paper gold, which is forcing the price down because JP Morgan doesn't want competition with his dollar because he's the one printing it. It's so fucking It's so corrupt. It's just unbelievable. Eric, I won money. Thanks for the play. I had San Diego. Yeah, I remember that. And St. Louis Cardinals under. Good. I'm glad you won. How was poker? Did you play poker? Did you watch the guy watch the TV and get the fuck out, and the other guy check raise you and you get the fuck out? Remember, I noticed everything. So I notice when the guy's got a good hand, he's not worried. So he looks at the TV. He's not worried. He doesn't give a shit. He wants you to call. So therefore, you fold. Anyway, so are we done with economics, or do you want more? Anyway, so all these movies, it's all about the people are greedy. They want to make money. So if you have 100, you want to get to 2, but they don't know how to get there. So they listen to a stockbroker or financial planner, and their goal is commission, to take your money in the commission. And they sell you all this bullshit. They don't give a fuck about you. They can't teach you. If they can't explain it, why listen to them? I try to tell you what to look for. Ask them about gold. And if they say negative about gold, get up and leave, because they're idiots. Only somebody that would put you in gold understands it. And these guys clearly won't. They're going to put you in stocks and bonds or real estate trust. And then you're going to lose all your money. And they're going to say, well, you got to, what did the guy say? If you want to play the game, you're going to win and lose. Not if you play gold, you'll never lose. And that's the moral of the story. You have to understand enough that you can't lose with gold. That's what you got to understand. So you got to know the story. Why do I want to be in Microsoft? It's just going to keep going up. Like, oh, really? What is it? Madoff runs Microsoft? So anytime there's a scam and you're getting Madoff, where it seems too good to be true, and don't ask, don't tell, you just keep making money. Oh, he's hitting 100% of his football games. Run and run fast. It's bullshit. It's not real. There's nothing real about it. So understand that they're just scamming you, and don't act surprised when they discover Madoff's scam and you go, oh my God, I lost all my money. Oh, come on. You knew what was going on. You should have got your money out. Don't act like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't make money this month. I lost. Oh my God. Eric, I saw that guy looking at the TV and folded, and I bet he had a full house, right, Eric? That's the surest sign you're fucked, is the TV sign. The real D, do you have favorite for week 1 NFL football yet, or still doing research? I'll look at week 1 in the NFL next week. I've already got the lines. I already have ideas. I'll give the free picks on that next week. The more I'm thinking, the more I think Kansas City is going to kill Detroit. I initially liked the over in the game, but a few things don't add up. First of all, Detroit didn't play anybody in the preseason. Now there's a bye. They're just going to be able to go 100% for 4 quarters against Mahomes. There's a whole new defense who hasn't played together. They're just going to be okay. You've lost a running back who scored 17 touchdowns. You're just going to replace him with the number 1 pick out of Alabama who got 5 touchdowns for Alabama in a passing offense. You have one receiver, St. Brown, who they're going to double cover. Who else do you got? Who are you going to throw the ball to? So you scored 30 a game against the weak defensive teams. The Bears, Green Bay, the Vikings, right? When you played Carolina, you didn't do shit. The Jets, you didn't do shit. I think Jacksonville, they did a little. But you're on the road, which they're terrible, against a good quarterback, which they're terrible. They have no pass rush. They don't have a defense. They don't have receivers, and they don't have running attack. Because the one runner you had, you let go of. You got Jared Goff, the biggest choke in the world. What are you going to? So now I'm like, do I even bet the over? Or do I just take Kansas City to win by 30? Because, I think it's a national. I don't think KC lays down this game, even though they get the rings. I think they're obviously ready to go. Mahomes played in 3 of the preseason games with Kelsey. They're fucking ready to go. I mean, Mahomes wants to play. I don't see the Lions. I see San Diego giving them trouble or Denver. I don't see a team like the Lions giving them trouble. Is True's teams that normally lose the Super Bowl start the season off slow? No, it's usually teams that win the Super Bowl start slow. Because they got nothing to play for. They've won. So they're a little bit the motivation isn't there. We've won. Now what are we playing for? To win again? So I find that the Super Bowl winner usually is a little bit weak coming out the gate. Look at the Rams after they beat Cincinnati. I don't even think made the playoffs. That's why it's hard to get back to back. Even the Steelers, as good as they were, they'd win the Super Bowl, and the next year they'd start off like 2-4, and then they'd finally get to go and then win. Very few teams. And then what happens is you got to watch the injuries. Like the Packers in 65 started getting injuries. And in 67, when they won their third, were very decimated by injuries. So it's just hard. You've got to not get the injury, and you've got to pay attention to the injuries. Those are critical. You can't just ignore them. It is not next man up. That is such bullshit. All right. You lose Johnny Unitas, and we saw what Earl Morrall did in the Super Bowl. They lost Joe Namath. Wasn't next man up for the Jets. They never got back. So you can't sit there and say next man up. It's bullshit. It's actually socialist. It implies everybody's even, which we know is not the case. Everybody's got a different skill set. I'm a senior financial analyst, and there's another senior financial. We don't have the same skill set per se. I think it's the Lions, and Thursday night they'll get the win, and then they'll start, when they go on the road, then there'll be injuries and stuff like that. So you got to watch. If Kelsey gets hurt, if Mahomes gets hurt, then it's usually that's what happens. It's the injuries that make them bad. You don't like Jets on 9/11 against the Bills? I feel like they got a Hood storyline for them. No, I love the Jets. I don't know why they're a home dog against the Bills. They should beat the Bills straight up. They got the better defense. So when you're trying to figure out football, who's got the better defense? Now, if it's 2 bad defenses, so when we look at Mass against New Mexico State, we have 2 bad defenses. I know New Mexico State has a good offense. I didn't know UMass does, but if you got 2 bad defenses and 2 fairly good offenses, it's an over game. You can't bet straight. Now, I thought UMass still was bad, but anyway, so you're looking for the defense, which didn't appear, but San Diego State, Ohio, the better defense won. San Diego State 20-13. Who has the best defense? San Diego State. They won the game. That's the first key is the defense, but how do you know the defense is the best? You can only go by the points. It's not time of possession. It's not turnovers. It's how many points do they give up? Because that's all we give a fuck about is what's the score? Did we cover? I don't care if we won the turnover battle or we won the punt return battle. I only care is what's the score? Did we cover? Did we win the money? That's all you should care about. So if I look at, well, it's hard to see last week. Well, Notre Dame won 42-3. So they got a very good defense. And they got Hartman. So they're an excellent team. They play some like Division II team this week. But, oh, by the way, Miami of Florida, I now see an injury on Van Dyke, of all people. His thumb's hurt. Now, it's questionable with the thumb. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's his passing thumb. We'll see what happens. But I did see it off the board, and I wondered. And then I see Van Dyke with the thumb. So be careful with Miami of Florida. So what is it? They're rising, Van Dyke. All the good quarterbacks are getting hurt. So we will see. But that's why I have a defensive column in here. So I have defensive column right here. And you can see I'm putting overs and unders. So then I look for the underplay. Texas is an under. That's why they're the free pick. Texas, good offense, good quarterback, and a good defense against Rice, who sucks. And Rice has a weak defense. So Texas should shut them down defensively. When they got the ball, should go up and down the field on them. And Texas has Alabama next week. So even if they go to Manning in the third and fourth quarter, he's going to put it up because he wants to get ready for Alabama too. So that's what you're looking for, is that strong defensive team to just dominate the offense. And then if I have a good offense or a good quarterback, you can't stop me. I'm going to win the game. And then it's what's the point spread. So let's look at like South Carolina, North Carolina. Is the game even? Pretty much. They both have good quarterbacks. North Carolina and South Carolina, neither of them have a good defense. The defenses give up 30 points. Good quarterbacks, no defense. We expect a high-scoring game. I mean, that's really, but again, now it's early, so we expect them to be bad defenses from what happened last year, but we will see. And that's really the key to it. Are they still the bad defense? Where did my clock go? This should be South Carolina revenge game. I don't know. I didn't pay attention. Is it a revenge game? They don't play each other. Like if you beat Clemson, right? If North Carolina beat Clemson, now they play this year, then it's a revenge game because Clemson would revenge North Carolina. These two teams don't really play each other all that much. They're not in the same conference. So I'm not really sure it's a revenge game. Now you're saying, well, but Utah is to Florida. Yeah, because it cost them the bowl, the playoff. So that is a revenge game, and they are at home, and they are mad about it. So theoretically, who won last year, North Carolina or South Carolina? So I could see where that might – you could have a little bit of revenge factor in it. But usually when a good team like Utah loses to Florida, then they want revenge for it, and they can get the revenge because they're better. And they're at home and they're emotional. So what we're betting on is a very emotional Utah team going against Florida, who got the win last year out of a fluke, but probably isn't, they don't even have a quarterback. So I'm not too worried about them. So yes, if it is a revenge, that would play into it, but not only if it's North Carolina getting the revenge at home. So I'm not sure that's the issue. But like Ohio State, Michigan, now that's revenge because Michigan won the last two. Ohio State never should be in the playoff. If they look at record, Utah should have been there. They were a better team. So was Kansas State than Ohio State. But Ohio State, they look at the record, but they don't play anybody. They played one team, Michigan, and lost. Oh, let's put them in the playoffs because they only lost one. They only played one good team that was any good. So that's your revenge game is Michigan, Ohio State. The revenge is Ohio State. Can they get it, though? They're having trouble stopping Michigan's run and Michigan's defense. So is it that? Then we go to Texas, Oklahoma. Huge revenge game for Oklahoma. They lost 49-0. Can they do something about it? Probably. I would think so. Alabama, Tennessee. Huge revenge game. Tennessee won. This year it's in Alabama. You bet Alabama, but is Alabama any good? I don't like their quarterback. So it'll be interesting to see. Alabama lost to LSU. There's revenge for Alabama. Texas lost to Alabama on a last-second kick. They get them next week in Alabama. They're getting 7 points. It's revenge for Texas, but can they do anything about it? So you got to really have the better team, or you need a real good team. Like Utah's a real good team. They're a playoff team. Oklahoma's a good team. South Carolina, North Carolina, I don't consider them like really good teams. They don't have the defense for it. So Utah, Florida, Utah has the team to get the revenge. So even though there's a lot of revenge games, theoretically, you've got to be able to actually get the revenge. You got to be good enough to revenge the team, or it doesn't matter. Are taking any big spreads this week? Texas, I gave you that. That's the free pick. So the free pick is Army, Texas, and then lately Utah. And if Rising doesn't play, it's Utah under. But I don't look at big spreads, little spreads, anything like that. Texas owns Rice. They laid 35. Fine. But there's other big spreads that I'm not interested in. So Kentucky 26 over Ball State. I have no interest in that. Kentucky doesn't score that much. I don't really know how good Ball State is, so I don't care about that game. Wisconsin, I don't care about over Buffalo. Buffalo's not that bad. Wisconsin has Mordecai. We'll see what happens. Ohio State, 28 over Indiana with a new quarterback. Not really interested in it. Maybe it's an over, but not in a I'm not laying 29 with Ohio State. Don't have a defense. So I don't really look at the number. Alabama, I wouldn't touch with 39 over Middle Tennessee State. So it doesn't really. I don't pay attention to that. I just look at the matchup. I make my own line to get a flavor of what the game should be. So if I see it minus 10 and it's only minus 6, and I like the favorite, now I'll bet the favorite because it's even and the spread's too low. And I realize that because I can make a better line than Vegas. Vegas is just using statistics. I don't do that. That's why we make so much money on Georgia under and Iowa State under and Washington State under and Illinois under. Just because these teams, you just look at their defense, they don't give up. And the over-under in the game is 52 in a Georgia game, and there's no way in hell that game's going to 52, at least the last few years. So when you got a defense that shuts everybody out, you're not getting 50 points in the game. So it amazes me how bad Vegas is. And I get so tired of hearing, oh, Vegas, they always know the line. So I don't put any stock in Vegas knowing what they're doing. But I do put stock in me knowing what I'm doing. Oh, well. So you look at the matchup. You have to go through. You have to understand the teams, and then you have to make. If the two over teams, we go over. If the two under teams, we go under, depending on what the line is. So if USC is playing UCLA, it's an over game, but if it's 78, it's too much. We don't play it. If it's 66, we tease it to 60, then we would play it. So you got to understand your team. Good offense, good defense, or both. Good quarterback, good coach, and that's what you look at. That's why I say Notre Dame and Utah and Georgia are the best three teams. And then we'll see who the fourth is. Maybe it's Michigan, Ohio State. Maybe I doubt it'll be Oklahoma Tech. I think TCU could be right back in it. We will see. They'll be outstanding this year also. It's funny how they get there. Nobody gives them respect. Well, it was luck. They beat Michigan. It was luck. Ohio State couldn't beat Michigan. So that's where you kind of get with it. But in everything I do, we use logic, and we built in our variables. If it's gold and dollars, they're printing too much dollar, it's worthless, buy gold. If there's two strong defenses and no quarterbacks, go under, like the Ohio San Diego State game. If it's USC with a strong offense and no defense against San Jose State, who has a good quarterback and no defense, it's probably an over, which it was. So that's what you're looking. You're understanding the team, but that's what you've got to understand. That's what you got to do. Sort of like investing, you have to understand what the fuck. Wall Street's a big Ponzi scheme. It's Madoff. You don't want to deal with Madoff. I don't like playing stocks. You very rarely win it. If you do, you win a little bit, right? It's I win a little bit or I lose a lot. Because you wake up one day and your $50 stock's at 20. Now what the fuck do you do? However, the Madoffs and the Buffets and these guys are out of the stock at 50 before it gets to you at 20. So they don't lose, but you lose. You want to play that? Oh, so that's really the problem. So with gold and silver, that can't happen. You can't wake up and it's zero or dropped. I mean, once we see this at 40, 50,000, you're not going to wake up and it'll be at 10. Once it hits 50, it isn't going back to 10. And then it's not going to be in dollars. It's just going to be gold. Now, maybe that was your question, Luke. What do you value it at? If it's not in dollars, it'll be what it buys. So it'll buy this house. But you can't say it's a $500,000 house because you don't have dollars. So you don't know what the value is. Just a nice house, and there's going to be a lot of different markets, right? So maybe one house you can buy with 2 ounces of gold, and maybe one you need 3. Depends on the seller. Iowa minus 25. I don't know. You got to watch the quarterback. McNamara is questionable. What's your thought on Penn State versus West Virginia? Don't have one. I think it'll be a competitive game because they're kind of rivalries. What's the line? Penn State's 20.5. West Virginia is an over team based on last year. Penn State's an A team. Penn State's got a new quarterback. So we don't really know what we have as West Virginia has. So we really don't know at this point what type of team they are. You don't know how good the quarterback is who's replacing. I'm tired of hearing this guy's a 5-star, this guy's a 4-star. Uglia was a 5-star. He's supposed to be the best quarterback that came out, and guy sucks. So until he plays, you have no idea. So you can't – there's too much risk in the questionable. So I have no idea what the quarterbacks look like. And who's the better team? I really don't know. I really don't like the spread of 20. I would never bet Penn State in that situation. I don't know if I'd bet West Virginia. Over under. I don't know anywhere on this game because I don't know what I got at quarterback, and I don't know what my defenses are. Is Penn State still a good defense? Is West Virginia? Did they get a better defense? So there's a lot of unknown week one that you want to stick with Rising and Hartman and Van Dyke and Caleb Williams. So now USC is 38-point favorites to Nevada. We know they're an over team. I had Nevada as a Z team last year. Are they still a Z team? They're going to be pretty bad. The problem with the over-under 65 is that you're going to get enough points from Nevada. San Jose State got you 28, so you made the over in that game. Are you going to get 28 from Nevada? I doubt it, but USC's defense is really bad. USC should score a ton because Nevada, so USC will put up their 50 points. And then are you going to get enough points from Nevada? And then it's 38. So even if they're 50, if you get 14 points, you lost. So, they're very tough until we know, at least see the teams once to know who's who. So anyway, so the picks are Texas to kill Rice because they got a good defense and the quarterback's good. Army over Louisiana Monroe, although they've got that dual quarterback that UMass had, but I think Army's seen that enough. I think they'll be prepared. And Lou Monroe is not going to stop Army's offense. And then Utah, if Rising's playing, then it's Rising. If he's not, we go under. You see the bookies changing the point spread with the Hawaii. Yeah, I saw that. Well, a lot of that is Stanford sucks, and Hawaii played competitive against Vanderbilt. The game's in Hawaii. So Stanford's not a very good team, and I see the spread going down, but that's, is it too low? I mean, there's a point where you're going, well, fuck, I'll take Stanford. It's down to what, 3.5? So maybe I take Stanford there. That's supposed to show the money, that all the money's going on Hawaii. Now, we'll see. They look good against Vandy, but I still think they're an over team. And it's still tough to bet a team like New Mexico State without a defense, and Hawaii has no defense. So we'll see what Stanford does. They might run it down their throats. Neither team in this game had a defense. Like Stanford's is a Z team last year. Did they get better? And then the question is, we know Hawaii offensively got better, but not defensively. So if Stanford had a good quarterback, this would be an easy over at 60. But I don't know. I think Hawaii was a live dog at 7 or 8. Being at over 14, it was a live dog. At 3.5, I don't even get 10 points with Hawaii. I'm not sure about that one. So you got to be very careful. I don't jump just because the line moves. I make my own. You've got to. It's like gold. I know to buy gold, and nobody's going to talk me off of it. So I know what to do. Where the line, I make up my, Utah minus 7 or 8 or 6 against Florida. If Rising's playing, I'm taking Utah. And if he's not, I'm going under. And if the line moves a little bit, we'll see. I mean, if the line moves to 4 again, I'll probably think he's out and go under. If the line goes back to 7, and I'm seeing it at 6.5. It was not going back to 4. He was already said he's going to play on Friday. So I still think that that's probably what will happen, that he will play. This is what? The 31st. What happened to my date? Today's the 20th. So this is a Thursday game, the Utah game. So we'll know more tomorrow. We should get his health. But I still think it'll be the game Thursday, and all you can do is really watch what the spread does. Goes to 4, he's not playing, bet it under. If it goes back to 7, he is playing, which I think he is. So if I look at the line right now, just before it was 6.5. Let's see. It's still 6.5, 44.5, a little bit of the under. So there's nothing here telling me he's not playing because it went from 4.5 to 7, 6.5. I still think their backup is very capable of winning the game. I'm betting the defense of Utah is the key function. That's why I'm not betting Ohio State. They don't have a defense. Well, it shows it's pretty good, but I don't know. Indiana doesn't have an offense, so it makes it difficult. But I'll be curious, like Wisconsin, Buffalo. What do they look like? What's Mertz? How are they going to affect the defense? How's Buffalo look? They're usually a pretty good MAC team, so we'll see. Wisconsin, we'll see if there's a lot of interceptions or if there's going to still be running, or is it going to be wide open air raid, throw. In which case, the defense is going to get very, very tired, like I am. So, I'm interested in Coastal Carolina, UCLA, UTSA in Houston, Toledo, Illinois, LSU, Florida State, Bobby's game. Clemson, Duke, I'm interested in that. I'm seeing what Duke looks like. See, if Duke can pull the upset on Clemson, and Duke's an A team, Duke's very good. They have a very good defense. They did last year. So, again, I got to get off of last year's rankings to this year's rankings, but I can't do it until I see the teams. So is Clemson still an A team, and is Duke still an A team or not? But if Duke shows well against Clemson, I'm going to be very comfortable playing them, going, well, hell, they beat Clemson. If Clemson beats them 35-0, then I don't know what I'm going to do with Duke. But that's what you're looking for, is what do you do with the team? So you just go through them. How's TCU, Colorado? I think TCU is going to kill Colorado because I don't think TCU is going to fall off at all. They got the starting quarterback from last year. He got hurt last year, but he was the starter, got hurt. Now he's the starter this year. I don't think there'll be a drop-off. I'm sure they can easily replace their wide receiver and running backs. They've got a pretty strong defense. They got a really good coach. So I don't think that's going to change much. And I don't know that primetime, all of a sudden, he's a good coach. Well, really? So I don't see that. I don't really understand that at all. And anyway, so that's what you're looking. You're looking how to rank the teams, and you don't have any information from this year except for the 5 games that were played Saturday. So you understand how strong Notre Dame is. That Mass got a good quarterback. Mexico State's got a good quarterback and no defense. San Diego State's still strong defensively. Hawaii's got a better offense finally. And USC's USC, nothing do. So that's what you're trying to do, is understand the teams to know how to bet them. If they're overs, if they're unders, real strong or real weak. And that's what you're looking at. So you have an idea with Alabama and Georgia and USC and UCLA. You kind of have an idea already what they are. You don't know is Bowling Green and Utah State and Ohio State and Indiana. I mean, so you're trying to get your grasp on any changes in it. Like Kansas last year, we didn't know they were an over team. They start out strong. They put up 50 points. Next thing I know, they put up another 50. And I said, fuck, this is a real team. It's a real over team. And then I just started betting them over. So that's what you're always looking for. The surprise team that you didn't like. Kansas always sucks. All of a sudden now they score. Vegas is nowhere near understanding them. They're only looking at the numbers. So Vegas is clueless. We see what's going on. We figure out they're They're good offense and terrible defense. They're going to score a lot. They're in a conference with a bunch of Texas Techs and TCUs and Kansas State, and they're just every game's an over. Texas, Oklahoma, and so you play it accordingly. And that's really the key that I've picked up on the last few years is the defense and the type of teams. And then I'm winning a ton on overs and under. I had USC over. Well, before I might have played them in a teaser going, well, I'll lay 24 points to San Jose State, maybe in a small bet. And now this was a very big bet, and let's go over in the game because USC can't stop anybody. Nobody can stop them. And San Jose State's got a good quarterback. So you looked at all the pieces and go, oh, this is easy over. It was over in the third quarter. So that's what I'm factoring in is different techniques that, it works. And that's what you got to figure out in everything. Like I said, women, poker, investing, gold, the dollar. Once you figure out what it is and how to play it, then it's all easy. You want to print the dollar? I'll buy gold. You want to back the dollar by gold? I won't buy gold. Well, I'll still buy gold. Gold will go up. Once we get rid of COMEX, gold goes up. So it's a lot of understanding what's happening. And that's what we're trying to do in football and baseball. It's more the pitcher and the ERA. Like with Eric, I gave him Verlander against the Tigers, and he won 17-4, which was nice. But we were betting on the pitcher because that was the key to the bet. And that's what we do in football, the key to the bet. So the next thing is then managing your money. So how much money do you put into gold? And then how much money do you bet on football? And so you've got to ration it out. More money goes on to gold right now because it's about to explode. But we need enough money in football. So maybe your bankroll is a little lower with the intent in football to build your bankroll. Like my intent in gold is to build my ounces. I got 10. Now I got 15. Now I got 20. And I try to build my bankroll of gold. How many ounces do I got? Where football, I'm trying to build the bankroll. So I'm trying to make money, then I can bet more. But I can't bet more until I make money, until we pick winners. And then we pick winners because we know what kind of teams they are. So it all comes back to the analyzing, but what's critical, and that's what we figured out. So again, we're trying to avoid the Madoff scam where it just doesn't make sense. It keeps making money. When do I pull out? So when you play craps and you fit a bunch of numbers, get the fuck out, cash out. You can say, take my bets down. I think unless it's a pass line that you played. So if you just play the 6, 8, and 10 and it keeps hitting, you can say, give me my money. But if you played the pass line, you can't take that bet down. You have to keep playing until the guy 7's out or he hits your point. When he hits the point, then you can pull it down. But you don't want to leave your money out too long and then go, oh, the dice 7'd out. Oh, I lost my money. Like, really? You didn't calculate those odds? So be very careful. Be smart. Understand what you're looking for. And what do we got? 10-19. And you're fine. So again, keep in mind the injuries. Right now, it's the beginning of the year. Keep in mind your category of the team. Over, under, A or Z. What are they? Strong team, weak team, score a lot, no defense. They don't score. They got a good defense. You're Iowa. No offense, strong defense. Or Iowa State or Georgia maybe. maybe Georgia scores. They got a new quarterback. We know they're going to play defense. So that's really what you're looking for is what do you categorize them? And some of them aren't that easy. You can't. Yeah, they score 25. They give up 25. They're really not a strong team, but they're not weak, and they're not really an over. They're not. Then you just fuck it, and you say, well, forget that team because there's enough over and under teams, and there's enough A and Z teams that these teams in the middle, you just throw them out. Wait till they give you more thought. Anyway, how many? You see the bookies changing the point spread with the. Okay. How many units do bet? Or maybe is that what do you bet? It all depends. If I really like a game, I probably don't play units per unit. So let's say I play, like right now, $100 game. If it's a very big game, it might be 200 or 300. Now, as I get more comfortable with the teams and I get more comfortable, and I built my bankroll, it could be 500 and 1,000 a game. So I might say a 7 or 9 unit is $100 bet, and a 15 unit is a $200 bet, and then anything over 20 is a $500 bet. Now, and then as we go, there'll be more. There'll be bigger bet. I mean, that's what I did. So when I hit the $2,000 bet in 1980 on Florida State over Oklahoma, I was probably up 10 grand. So then I could afford 2,000. It's not going to cost me. I can't lose my bankroll. I will never lose. If I have a $5,000 bankroll, I'll never make one bet for 5,000. I'll bet 300, 400, 500 on the real strong games. Then get the bankroll up to 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. Then if I want to bet a 2,000, I got 8,000 in the bankroll. It won't kill me. And I better be damn sure that it's going to win. But that's what you do. So you build the bankroll up to allow you to bet more. But I don't ever want to hear, oh, I lost my bankroll because I put all the money. I used to hear this from some of these guys. It would blow my mind because they're making money with me, but then they're listening to another guy. And the guy says, oh, I lost all my money on Clemson. And I'm going, I didn't play Clemson. What the fuck are you talking about? Well, this other guy had Clemson, so I had a lot of money on it and I lost. And you're like, if I'm not giving you Clemson, what the hell are you betting it for? I'm not here to tell you not to bet your own thing, but if you're listening to another guy, I have a problem with that because I don't have competition. Nobody's in my league. So if you're going to bet another game, I mean, if you buy my picks and I'm giving you 10 games and you don't play, you play an 11th, you got a problem because I'm giving you, of the 10 winners, we're going to probably go 8-2. Maybe we go 10-0. Maybe we go 7-3. More than likely, we're going to go 8-2. And you're losing a lot of money on a game I didn't even give you. I mean, that's just, I don't understand that. It's like me telling you to buy gold and you're not buying gold. Well, what the hell? What are you? You're smarter than me? Okay. Why don't you teach the class and tell everybody what to buy? Are you a parlay guy? Straight? I bet teasers. Teaserking. So I bet a lot of 6-point teasers, 2, 3, 4 teams, depending how many games I like. But that's why I'm the teaser king. So I'm betting teasers. I find that I know how to take it maybe 7-1, maybe a lot with the over-unders, maybe, try to get under 3, try to get over 7, stuff like that. But there's a huge advantage betting teasers. like I said, if it's fixed, you can certainly see it's not fixed to the teaser, it's fixed to the straight better. So that you can win, you can't win by more than 7, but in the teaser it's 1, and then so they can easily win by more than 1. So that's what happens. Usually the team won't fix it where they lose. It's just they won't win by as much. But yeah, teasers, I've been doing them since 1977. So I got them pretty much down. And now I've added that really strong over under in defense and really picked up last year. It was like 80, 85%. So, um, I think that method works. And I pick it and I pick winners like the USC San Jose State game. 2 explosive teams, good quarterbacks, no defense. Play it over. Boom. The over wins. So it's a pretty good method that wins a lot. So that's what I do. Anyway, I think that's about it. I am tired and going to relax. I will be today's Tuesday. Let's assume Thursday, and then we got to look at the kickoff. So I'll try to get on before the Utah's at 8 p.m. So I'll try to get on at like 5:30 right after work. Do a quick class so we can talk about football for the night because it's on Thursday, and then I'll have the Friday show, and then do and Saturday and Sunday. Now I'll work next week. Now Monday's Labor Day, so I can do a show Monday maybe. I think I'll go shopping for some new shirts and stuff. And then my last day will be Friday. And then I'll be back on every day unless I get a new job. So I'm looking for a new job now. That's what made me upset was I'm getting calls for jobs and I'm going, no, I'm already working. Where now I would answer them and say, hey, yeah, my contract's done and Friday, so I can start the following Monday. Now I do want to go back to Europe, so once I get the new job, I'll say, well, I'm traveling. I can start when I get back. Normally they don't care, but the recession's coming. It's going to be bad. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs, and the economy is going to really fall. So you might want to live in Europe. You might want to, Switzerland. Who knows? But this is going to get crushed. You got an idiot like Biden running everything. What do you think is going to happen, right? So a lot of people in charge don't like America. It's really bizarre why they live here. Why do they live here to tear it down? Why don't you go live in Russia or China or wherever? Live there, and then we don't have to worry about it. All right, I am out, and have a nice night. I will see you Thursday, probably right after work, 5-ish, and we can look at the games Thursday, and we'll get a definitive rising because we'll see the point spread. We're just going to go with the point. The point spread stays 6.5, 7. He's playing. If it goes down to 5, we'll assume he's not. We'll go under. All right. Have a nice night, everybody. www.teaserking.com. The website. Buy the picks. If you want to buy the year, it's $750. You can pay me in payments, $250, $250, $250. Otherwise, there's weekly, there's monthly, or the year, and just pick what your choice is. You'll get a password and then go to purchase picks, and then you'll see the games. So again, yeah, I got one lock going. And we'll see what happens. All right, everybody. Have a nice day. www.teaserking.com.